to The Aside, short conversations with authors just off the page. I'm Valerie Beal, and I'm an author myself, but I was also trained as a journalist. And in this type of interview structure, I get to ask some of my nosiest questions. In these short conversations, I will ask authors about their work and inspiration for their stories, along with some quirky questions you might not be expecting. If you love reading, writing, or just learning more about some of your favorite authors, you are in the right place. Let's step off the page and begin.
All right.
Today, I am joined by Kathleen Donnelly, who is also a fellow Blackbird writer. We've been inviting a lot of Blackbird writers to hang out here in this space. So I'm so glad you were able to join me, and congrats on your book launch, which was last week. Quick, remind me of the title of the newest book.
Deadly Revenge, book
And that
five in
is
the National Forest.
book five.
Five. Yeah.
So I am completely fascinated with your background because you were a canine handler,
hmm
and um, I'm not sure that everybody who writes canine books has been one. I mean, they've done their research, they do their best, but I think this is kind of essential, experience to write well in this space. But it's so cool to make that part of your character's experience and to be able to do that. You don't do that now anymore, or do you?
No, actually, I retired from the canine work in 2024. Our program, Sherlock Hounds, Detection Canines, we ended up closing our doors. 25 years in business. So, and
Okay,
I
so
did
this
19.
this is so cool. So this Sherlock Hounds Detection
Yes.
Canines. It's the
Yes,
best. It's the best name. It's
it
so good.
is.
So
It
explain
is.
this to me. It was a private company. Like a lot of times we think about police canine, like, police units or whatever. Or we know that of course military has canine
Yes.
units and stuff too. But so I totally want to know more about this job and how it was they were private narcotics detection.
Yeah. So we were mainly for schools,
Ooh.
and our goal was to take a really friendly, non-intimidating dog into the schools to help deter the presence of drugs, alcohol, and gunpowder. So we wanted to be there when the kids were in the building. We wanted to be visible. So a lot of the police dogs, the biggest difference between our dogs and a lot of the police dogs is our dogs were safe to be around the kids. And the police dogs usually, not always, some of them are also labs and just fine to go in with the kids as well. But most of the police dogs are dual purpose. And that means they are the Malinois, the German Shepherds. You want them to be intimidating. They need to be intimidating. That's their job. They're trained to track and apprehend and then usually find narcotics, or some of them might be trained to find bombs. So, like one or the other. And that's why they're called dual purpose. So, in our area, a lot of the police dogs were dual purpose, and we just saw a need to go into schools and help keep schools safe. We were grant funded, which was an amazing thing. And
Oh,
yeah, it was. And so it was really a rewarding career working with the kids. I don't have kids of my own. So I felt like when I went into the school, there was, you get to know some of the kids and watch them grow up and hopefully make better choices. And
yeah,
because a lot
exactly.
of the times the kids I got to know, it was not because of, it was for the wrong reason for them, but
Well, and when you think about that too, in terms of like, better to get your course adjusted as a minor
yes.
than have the repercussions like that. That would never be a fun call for parents to get. However, better to do it as a minor in that setting and course correct before you would have any
Yes.
other penalties. And, yeah, I agree. I
Exactly.
agree.
Exactly. Yeah. And I would tell them, I'm like, I really don't want to bust you guys, but the dogs are good and they will. But
Yes.
I say some of my best busts, so to speak, in quotes, is when I had a kid say, you know what, I realized that maybe I had an issue. It was usually the high schoolers saying this.
Mhm.
And so I actually went and asked for help. And to me, that's the best because this is now their life is hopefully in a better direction. And so it was very rewarding that way. I really enjoyed that part of it. And of
Well,
course, working the dogs. I mean, best partners ever.
yes, of course. I mean, and then they're your buddies too, right? I mean, because
Yes.
they're right.
Yeah.
So have you had
Yeah.
how many have you had through the years that you've worked? I mean, did you have multiples or just
I
one?
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I usually had two or three in the car. We would head
Okay.
out. Luckily, most of the school year, the weather was nice enough to have them in the car, but
Yeah.
you had to be careful, really cold or really hot. And yeah, we would head out and do like two or three schools, sometimes four schools in a day. And I think I worked a total, like living with me, dogs, seven. And
Mhm.
then just sometimes we would need an extra dog. And I think the company over the years, I counted up, I think we had like 12 dogs total,
Oh,
if I counted right. So
that's so
yeah,
nice. And I
yeah,
mean, we were just talking a little bit beforehand, like we don't have pets right now, but I miss having pets. I'm always like, I'll pet sit. Like this
yeah.
is always fun. So last week I got to pet sit a grand dog, our German Shepherd grand
Oh,
dog. So
oh, very cool.
so smart, such a smart
Very
dog.
smart. Very
And
smart.
it's kind of fun as a grandparent now to watch how that dog is so gentle with a toddler, but
Yeah.
also like on alert and ready to go.
Yes.
I mean, so
Yes.
these are like also working kind of all the time when they're outside
Yes.
and stuff. So I love
Yes.
that. I'm like, oh, I don't need to worry quite so much because Opal's
Yeah.
on it. Her name's Opal. So
Oh boy, yeah. Yeah, those dogs and that was the thing, right? Is we say non-intimidating looking, but so many of the shepherds and the Malinois, they actually love the kids. They would have been great for our program too. They have a more intimidating
they
presence, but
do.
they love their kids and God help anyone who tries to do anything to your grandkid
And they've got
because
that nice deep bark too.
yeah,
And
yeah,
she's just a lovable dog. Like
yeah,
nobody would understand how like I mean she's not ferocious, but she would appear that
yeah,
way.
yeah, 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 exactly.
And she
And
probably would be like threatened, right? If her
yes.
or her people
Yeah.
were threatened because it's part of
Yeah.
their. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of missing lately, and I don't know. I feel like everybody on my feed lately has been showing shelter pets that need adopted.
Oh,
And I'm like, oh, this is getting really hard to resist.
it's hard.
It might be
Yeah.
time. It might be time. We've been petless for a while. So, um, okay. So I'm curious when you are watching or reading stories that are having, canine dogs, is there a myth that they get wrong or it's like something that you just go, oh my God, that was not how that works when you're reading a story or watching something?
Yeah, there usually is. Well, I shouldn't say, let me take a step back. I will say the books I read actually are very accurate. The
Okay.
fellow canine authors I know do a fantastic job of researching. So that's why I was like, I better take a step back because I don't
Well,
want to
it's
offend
great because
it.
Margaret Mizushima, who's a
Yes.
fellow Blackbird, of course,
Yeah,
props to
yeah.
her. So,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, she does a great job. Like I said, Sarah Driscoll, who's Jen Dana, does a great job. Like so many authors, I could just sit here and name, and they work really hard to get the details right, and they do. So it's awesome. So it's Hollywood I'm going to pick on. So
good. They're so
yeah,
easy to pick on.
they are. So I'll probably ruin the chances of my book going to film now that I'm going to pick on them. But probably the biggest thing I see is there's always a myth that if you run through water, the dogs will lose the track.
It's not
And that is
true.
not true. That is not true. Dogs can very easily smell through water. In fact, they have search and rescue water certified dogs who go out on boats if they think someone has maybe drowned. And those dogs will go out on the boat and they can, if there is a victim there, they can actually smell that person in the water and they'll alert and they can set it up so divers can go down. They've been very successful recovering victims. Drowning victims that way. And then tracking through water is simple for them. Our trainer had a bloodhound he was working with, and they were running a training track, and his decoy ran straight through a creek and then ran up the other side. And Mackie was working the bloodhound, and it was so fascinating. That dog went right in where the guy went into the creek. He followed the guy's steps, like along, like where the guy went through, and he kept sticking his nose in the water and like just kind of up and down.
Wow.
Came right out, had no problem finding him. So I'd say that is the biggest. And don't hide drugs and coffee. I hate to be
Oh,
like,
no.
there's, that's not going to work. Jalapenos. I'm trying to think of other things. I mean, there are ways you can throw their nose off a little bit, but it's very difficult. You'd
Yes.
have to, I mean, it's very difficult. So I hate to break it to anyone who thinks they can run through water and get away from them. It's not going
Well,
to
I have believed it
happen.
through all I mean, I've never
Yeah.
went, that's not true. I figured it was true. So,
Yeah.
oh, that's
Nope.
wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think about, when you're at an airport, right? And we're doing customs. So we're picking our bags up and we've gone through
Hmm.
passport control. We're getting our bags. We're going to either recheck them or whatever. We're coming back into the country. And there's like the beagle. He's,
Yes.
he's ready. He's checking for mostly food, I think
Yes,
the
they are.
contraband stuff because they don't want agriculturally they don't want you bringing in certain foods
Yes.
that could have pests that then could whatever.
Yeah.
So I am trying to remember who in our group got stopped. I want to say they had peanut butter, but they had food. They weren't mean about it. They were just like, you need to throw this,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
nobody wants the dog to stop by their bag because you're like, I'm in so
No.
much trouble.
I know.
Please
Yeah.
no. Or your locker. Oh, the kids at
Yes.
school.
Yes.
I shouldn't laugh, but yeah, that whole water thing, I was totally snowed over on it or whatever. I
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. And here in Colorado, speaking of snow, they can track through snow just fine too. It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, so there you have it
Yeah.
from the expert right here today. So your National Force K-9 series, it's police procedural. It's
Mhm.
it's it's wilderness suspense, which is cool, and I love that. And it's also romance. So
Yeah.
did you combine all those things from the very beginning, or did you focus more on one area and then changed it up? I'm just curious about how it came to be.
It's funny. I focus more on the wilderness and the police procedural, and I had thought I tried my hand at writing romance, and it was terrible. It was my first book though, so like looking back, I'm like I should have been a little. So I thought, oh, I just won't do romance. And then when I was querying my agent, and she read Josh and Maya, so Maya Thompson is my main character. She's the canine handler and Forest Service law enforcement officer, and her boyfriend Josh Colton is a sheriff's deputy. At the first book, when I sent it to my agent, they were not together. They didn't even have an interest. But it was funny. My agent said, "I feel like there's some interest here." Like, and I'm like, "Oh, really?" So she said, if you want to write it, we can market it as a romantic suspense. And I wanted to say to her, you should know how bad the first one was, but I didn't. I thought, okay, I can do this. This is a challenge. So I went back and it's turned into a romance. And now it's funny, I write romantic suspense for Harlequin. It cracks me
Yes.
up because I'm like, seriously, they it's a good thing they never saw that first book.
Well, I mean,
So,
don't
but
we all
first
say,
books,
like,
yes.
there's the practice books where,
Yeah.
I mean, because I
Yeah.
mean, if you look back at your earlier writing, even things that were published, I bet there's things
Yeah.
you want to change. Every time I pick
Oh,
up
definitely.
the first book, I'm like, oh man, I could have edited that again, or whatever.
Yeah.
But it lives, it's out, it's just there.
Yeah.
But I think romance is really hard to write well. Um,
Yeah,
and
it
so
is. It's a challenge.
and the people who can write sex scenes and stuff, oh man. I mean, like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just so clunky. It's horrible. Like, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So I love wilderness suspense and there's so many things that can go wrong, right? I mean,
Yes.
up against the environment and just dropping temperatures or, mountains.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's all things that a lot of people, especially like city folk, don't always think about. Like, people aren't
Hmm.
prepared or whatever. But especially if
Yeah.
you throw the criminal element in, I just love the setting. Also, we were talking about like my environment here before we got recording, and
Yeah.
I'm sitting in the middle of a hayfield. I got the round bales, sitting out here. But
Yeah.
so like
Yeah.
a national forest, like your books are set in, is so different from where I live. So that's fun for me,
Hmm.
right? To like switch it up. But I mean, I just think that it's essential to your type of crime fiction. I mean, I don't know, could you switch the setting to something else and would it be as suspenseful? I mean, I feel like it's almost a character.
I feel like the mountains are definitely a character. Growing up here in Colorado, I
Mhm.
call them the Jekyll and Hyde characters because they are gorgeous, but they are deadly. I mean, last week was the 50th anniversary of the Big Thompson flood. So it happened before I was even born, but it took people by surprise. And 144 people lost their lives that day from
Oh,
this flash flood that just came down the canyon. And there's still 5 people missing, which I'm always like, as a mystery writer, I'm like, have to
oh,
think about that.
I have to tell you about a current plot that I'm unraveling and deciding if I'm going to write that's along those lines. But anyway,
Oh, cool. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Like, where did
yeah.
they all go? Hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and in real life, unfortunately, and for the families, it was that it was so much debris and such a nasty flood that, that's
they're buried.
unfortunately.
They're buried under debris, probably.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. And it took a long time to identify those who did lose their lives. So it's like you have, but then if you drove the big Thompson Canyon today, you'd be like, oh, this is beautiful. And in 2013, we had another set of floods down that canyon, but they learned a lot from the 76 floods and people were better prepared. But 2013, I was obviously very much alive, and we were actually working in Estes Park schools, and the Big Thompson Canyon is how you access that. And I
Oh,
remember when I started driving back up there because we couldn't work the schools after those floods. There was no way to get up there, there was no access. It was, yeah, you could. I shouldn't say there was none. The town got food supplies and whatnot through Rocky Mountain National Park over Trail Ridge, which if
right.
anyone's driven that, that's not an easy drive. But yeah, and I remember looking, I was like looking out one side of my windows and there's bighorn sheep and wildflowers and this and that. And then I look out the other side and half the mountains just gorged out from these floodwaters. And I was like, this is my setting. This is the mountains. This is the mountains. I mean, it's easy. It's real life, so it's easy to take it into to fiction. And
And it's you growing up in flatland Midwest, we have rolling hills, but let's be honest, that doesn't
yeah.
mean anything. We don't understand mountain safety. And I remember as a high schooler,
Mhm.
I was out in Utah for an event, and we were with a chaperone, and we rode the gondola up, and then you could choose to ride the gondola back or to hike down. And they had a cutoff point for hiking down. And they're like,
Okay.
we checked in with somebody and they said, nope, you're still good, but you got to go now if you're going to hike down. So
Hmm.
halfway down, the poor chaperone sprained her ankle, and
Oh no.
it's loose, a little scree. You're sliding around. It's a ski hill. It's not meant to be really hiked, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is back in like 85, and we're like, oh crap, now what are we going to do because she can't get down. And so we had cameras with us, and we went up under the gondola line, and we used our
Oh, smart.
flashes and he stopped, or whoever was driving it stopped, and we're like, we've got somebody who needs to have an evac, like she
Yeah.
can't walk down. So they bring up, the ATVs and the whatever. Oh God.
Yeah.
And so we get down, and the last bus that got stuck waiting for us was so mad, but we're like, we weren't goofing off. Someone got hurt, like,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
wasn't even a kid who got hurt. So we were like, but
Yeah.
that was my first real experience where I'm like, this can get bad fast. And now we were
It can.
fine. They would have come looking for us, like whatever. But it was going to get cold.
Hmm.
Um, and it was summertime, but that doesn't matter. Like nights get cold when you're up at whatever
They do.
elevation.
They do.
So
Yeah.
I just think this is the best setting. Mainly,
Oh, thanks.
I appreciate that so much. And plus it gives like all the bad guys places to hide and like, you know.
Yeah. And there is an element, like when you go out hiking, you do have to be aware. I always say I'm more aware of the two-legged predators than I am the four-legged because,
Yes.
they're out there. And the other interesting thing about the mountains is, and even to this day, your cell phone, like when I drive the Big Thompson
Mhm.
Canyon, I have no cell phone. There's just no cell phone signal. I did a ride along with a mountain deputy. We went back to check out an abandoned camper. He had no radio. Like the radio signal was gone.
So, okay, so
So,
think about that.
yeah.
Like, right, from
Yeah.
from a plot perspective. I mean,
Yeah.
so we talk about how we're so tech connected and then it messes our plots up. So, you
Yeah.
got to have like you have to have like no cell service, whatever. This is
Yeah.
actually like reality when you're
It is.
And it like you're
It
not
is.
using it like, oh, we're just going to make the cell tower go down. They actually don't have connection.
They don't exactly. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and
It's
think about
really
that though. You're
fun
going
to
up
play
to
with.
like a camper or something that's, is it abandoned? What are they going to find?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
how would you call for help? You'd have to drive out
Yes.
so you got signal.
Yeah. And that's basically what he told me. Like, hey, I don't think anyone's here, but if something happens, you need to like, it's like, okay,
You have my back, have
got
my
it.
six and get out. You're like,
Like, yeah, get to where you can call it in. He had some sort of backup radio, but even that was like not working. So we also had to watch. We only stayed, I think it was like 10 minutes before he had to check back in with dispatch, and
oh, thank you.
which
Right.
is good, which is
Because
good.
there's a like, hey, I'm headed into
Yeah.
the zone, but I'll
Yeah.
come back out so that you know not to have to send
Yeah.
anybody. It's a
Yeah.
different world.
It is very
Different
different. That
world.
was eye-opening. So,
I love
yeah.
it. This is fascinating to me. I could talk about these things forever. Okay, so shift gears a little bit to your writing. What is
Yeah.
one writing rule that you believe in and one that you think is made to be broken?
So I definitely believe that you can't have a random ending where like this person who just barely showed up in chapter two was the person who did it. Like that's not a twist, right? That's just a random, and that's probably a beginning writer mistake.
Mhm.
So I believe that is one rule you got to stick to. Like I want the readers to get to the end of my books and hopefully there's some surprise, but hopefully they're also like, oh, now I can see how she set that up.
I
So it's
love that.
fun to try to manipulate that, and some readers figure it out sooner than others, which is fine. That's great. As far as the rule to be broken, everyone says write what you know, and I think you should break that, which is funny because yes, I know canines, so everyone's going to be like, wait a minute, you're writing what you know. But I
Mhm.
didn't actually because I never worked a dual purpose dog. So I asked our poor trainers, like we'd get done with the training session. I'm like, now I have 20 questions for you about dual purpose dogs.
But they probably like to answer them though, right? I
They
mean,
did, and it was fun. Yeah, it
yeah.
was a fun discussion. We go out to lunch or something, and I'd ask questions. And I like right now, the book I'm working on involves poaching. Well, I don't know anything about poaching. I didn't grow up hunting even, so I don't even know hunting well. So I'm like learning all about it, and I have a wonderful officer within the Forest Service. He's a law enforcement officer like Maya, and he worked a canine. And I was asking him poaching questions. So fascinating. And he said a line that I'm going to have to email and be like, can I use this? Because he said, we hunt the hunters. And I'm like, oh, I love that. I love it. So I'm going to have to get his permission to use it. So I'm like, I don't know anything about hunting. I don't know anything about poaching. I didn't even know picking up antlers could be considered poaching. I could see myself doing that. Oh, here's a nice
Wait,
antler.
really? It can
Yeah,
be?
it can be. There are people who go out and do it illegally. You are not supposed to take
Oh,
them, especially on like Forest Service parks land. And I
interesting.
think they follow the animals. I'm still researching this, so sorry to anyone out there who actually knows all this, but they follow the animals and wait for them to shed their antlers, and I think there's actually a shed antler season, and then there's a poaching season.
Oh,
And
that actually makes a lot of sense. I mean,
yeah,
we've got our
yeah.
hunting seasons here in
I was
Wisconsin,
gonna say,
and
yeah, you
like,
have hunters too, so
and it's weird because we don't know and we don't hunt. And I mean, but I grew up around hunters, and we've got,
yeah,
a lot of deer and turkeys and all different kinds of things, right?
yeah,
But we'll
yeah,
hear gunshots and we know it must be a season, but we don't know what season, and then we have to Google
yeah,
and go,
yes,
it's the short season for the whatever, and it's like,
yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
so there's all these, I mean, people will just laugh because they're like, you didn't know that. I'm like, no, I didn't know that. Like,
I
it's not part of my
I
world.
know.
So
No, it's not part of mine either. The only hunting I do of animals is with a camera. So
yes, yes. Well, and I
yeah,
find, it's very fascinating. I agree with you on that because I think that it's very interesting for the writer to have to research certain things. And you
yeah,
have to have an interest in it, and you have to then have the commitment to get it right.
yes,
But you
yeah,
don't have to write only what you know. And I think it would be really
exactly.
boring for us to only do that, right?
Yeah, yeah, because
So,
then I would just have a book about drug dogs in schools, and that would be it.
which I mean, could be a good
Could be
series.
interesting.
You could
It
be a
could be.
total
Yeah.
YA series.
I've
Huh.
thought of that. I've thought about that.
Huh.
And maybe someday, Because I had one of my dogs was a little terrier named Sparky. I called him my undercover agent. And oh my God, Sparky was the best. And I'm like, he needs his own series, like
Oh,
Sparky Super Sleuth or something like that,
oh,
because
that'd be
he was just,
so fun.
yeah. So someday you might see a YA. I don't know if that's middle grade or YA. I don't
I
know.
don't
I might have to
know.
talk to you about that, Val. You know more
Sure,
about those than I
sure.
do.
I'd love to talk that through. We'll brainstorm.
Yeah.
We'll brainstorm.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be fun.
Okay, so what is something about your writing process that you think is really weird?
Well, I have a horse, and where I'm going with this is when I get stuck, I go out and clean her pen.
Which
So I,
always needs cleaning.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
job security is there with a horse, so or groomer, or take her. She's not rideable anymore, so sometimes we
Yeah.
just go on walks together. I lead her, and that usually it's funny. There's something about stall cleaning that just all of a sudden in the middle of it, you're like, oh, I think I have it figured out. So I usually have my phone with me so I can type in notes.
Do a
So
quick note to
yeah.
yourself or voice memo. You can do a voice memo.
I do that too. Yeah, whatever, whichever one I need. So yeah.
I think that makes sense though. I think though, changing, like staring at the computer screen, trying to figure out like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
like maybe you're not happy with a scene or you don't know where to go
Yeah.
next. I head out and I'll do gardening here. And we have a lot of fruits. We don't have vegetables anymore, but we have a lot of fruit trees and fruit,
Yeah.
bushes and whatever. And so I'm doing a lot of that kind of stuff. And usually just changing your focus, like it helps, right?
Yep. It
Plus,
does.
horses are so sweet. And you had her since she was tiny?
Yeah, actually I had her mother, so I bred her mother and raised
Oh,
her, and so I've known her from the beginning. So yeah.
and they're so
Yeah.
cute. So my brother and sister-in-law raise American saddlebred horses.
Oh, very cool.
So
I didn't
on
know
the dairy
that.
farm that's a
Nice.
half mile away from me, that's not dairy anymore. It's now horses.
Oh,
Um,
very cool.
but those every once in a while I might help with that, like if they're going to be
Yeah.
gone. But I am like I they scare me because I forget how big they are. And if I go
Yeah.
out with the oats and the stallion comes running across the pasture, I'm
Oh,
like, I'm
yeah.
jumping those oats so fast and getting out of his way. But
Yeah.
they're really sweet. And the one gal, oh my gosh, I'm trying to put her halter on, and she's like, really, really, you can't actually manage this. And she's actually trying to help me, like
Yeah,
get her
they
halter on.
do.
And I'm just like, I am sorry. You are stuck with me for the weekend, and I am doing my best, honey. So,
I
but
love
I
it.
think there's something about that. It's the calming. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know, but it's good to change your focus because staring at that
it
screen
is.
or, like you're never going to find the answer until you kind of let your
No,
brain
no.
like relax and do its thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so if we got to see your books made into a TV series or a movie,
Mhm.
who would play Maya and who would play Josh?
Great question. So I'm going to probably age myself here. So I'm going to have to say, because both of these actors actually, unfortunately, have passed away. So I need
Darn.
lookalikes in their 20s.
Okay,
But
great.
so if there's a lookalike in her 20s who looks like Kelly Preston, that would be Maya. Uh,
Oh, I
yeah.
loved her acting.
Yeah. Wasn't she
Yes.
fantastic? And actually,
Yes.
I saw her daughter, her and John Travolta's daughter is acting, and I saw her picture and I thought, okay, the hair color's wrong, but she looks so much like her mom. And I was like, maybe someday she'll be Maya. We'll have to change the hair color.
Oh, I love that idea. Yeah, she was one of my favorites. I was so sad when
Yeah.
she, yeah. So,
Yeah, yeah, she was a wonderful actress. Enjoyed her stuff very much. The other one, his name is Brad Johnson, and I don't know that he was super well known, but he was in the movie Always, which was with
oh,
Richard Dreyfuss and Holly Hunter, and he's just that
yes.
dark-haired and good-looking guy. I guess he actually was like a Marlboro man, so that kind of rugged, sort of good-looking, dark-haired guy. So that would be Josh.
So a young
Um,
version of him.
young version of him, yeah. So
Huh.
that's
Well, now I gotta
yeah,
go look
those.
him up. I remember the movie, but I don't remember him. I'll go check that out.
Yeah, yeah. He's the pilot in the movie, the young pilot that when Richard Dreyfuss is kind of the ghost, he
Yes.
coaches. Yes. So that's his role.
Okay, now I can picture
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
good
Love that
choices.
movie too, by the way. So
Oh, I know. So good.
yeah,
So
it
good.
is a very good movie.
The Kelly Preston movie that I still enjoy if I can ever find it is Space Camp. Do you
Oh
remember?
my gosh, I forgot about the space camp. I love that.
She is so young, like pre-marriage to John Travolta in that.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and it's one of the, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how well it's aged, but yeah.
Oh, I love that movie. I remember that too. You know, the other one she did I love is Nothing to Lose. Have you seen that? It has Tim Robbins and Martin Lawrence, and it is so funny.
I will have to look
Um,
that one back up. I've been seeing a lot of Tim Robbins lately because I'm watching the series
yeah.
Silo. Um,
Okay.
the based on the is that the Hugh Howey novels or
Okay.
books,
Okay.
right? Wool,
Yeah.
right? And so I've gone down the sci-fi rabbit hole on those. But
Nice. I love
yeah,
it.
just dystopian, post-apocalyptic. What are you gonna do? What are you
Yeah.
reading right now? What kind of books are you enjoying lately?
So I have a podcast called Sit, Stay, Read, and the books all have animal characters. So I love reading for my podcast. So I am just about done. I did interview him today. I try to get the books done by the interview, but I didn't quite make it. But it's been a really good book called A Death. I keep screwing up his title. It's Brian Theme.
Okay.
So A Death in the Deluge. Death in the Deluge. So
Okay.
I don't know why I find that so hard to
It's
remember.
kind of
And
like
then
it's a little tongue twistery.
it is, it is, and even the series is the Mud Flats Murder Club Mysteries. So even that's a little tongue twisted, but fantastic books. Highly recommend them. And there's a yellow lab named Annie in it.
Aw.
And then I'm gonna start Wisdom Corner by David Heska Wombley Wyden. So it's a second book, follow up to Winter Counts. Looking forward to it.
Which you enjoyed the first book?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
very much. Yeah, yeah.
I'm writing these down for myself.
Oh, good. Yeah, no, they're great books,
My
really great
TBR
books.
list is or stack is always big. It's just always
So
big.
is mine. It
Uh,
is. Yeah, yeah.
And then what are you currently working on? I mean, maybe that's not fair to ask because you just had a book come out last week.
Mhm.
Of course, when you're writing in a series, you're always at the next stage. I mean, do you
Yeah.
already have the next book done?
So I actually write two different series. I
Right.
write the Canine Justice series as well as the National Forest. The Canine Justice is the Harlequin romantic suspense. So
Oh,
if you
okay.
like more romance, that's the series.
Okay.
I have one book out in that, and I just finished the second book. It's in
Oh,
the pipeline. And that's
yay.
Colorado Canine Defense. So yeah, I'm expecting the edits back this week on the third book in that series. And then I'm outlining and starting Blood Tracker, which is book 6 in the National Forest series. So
Oh, you're not busy at all.
no, no, not at
Oh.
all. No. I have to, like, it's funny. I wake up in the mornings, I'm like, okay, which book am I working on? As I drink my coffee, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Get
Well,
my
the thing
brain
is,
into that world.
they're at different stages. And to be honest,
They
there are some
are.
days you're maybe feeling editing better. And there are other
Yeah.
days where you want to dive into like the new stuff, the writing.
Yeah.
I love that you have options, like, because
Yeah.
otherwise we're
It's
staring
fun.
at the screen and then that's when you have to go hang out with your horse, right? Like,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
and people will ask that, like, how can you be doing all these things? It's like you're probably not actively writing two books at the same time.
No,
And
no.
so, but there's all these stages. How
There
fast
is.
will the Harlequin books come out? Like how one a year or faster than that?
I know the second book, Colorado Canine Defense, is scheduled to come out next April, and then Blood Tracker is scheduled to come out next June.
Oh,
Beyond that, I'm not quite certain. Um, because when I finish up the third book, I don't have a release date on that yet, and then I start book 7, Untitled
right.
in the National Forest. So I'm hoping that it's just the two next year and then 2 and 28 because I can't imagine launching 3 in one year. That would be interesting. But if that's what they want to do, I'll do it.
Yeah,
So
yes, yes, yes. But I mean,
yeah.
people forget, well, maybe they just don't know. Like if you're not in the writing world, in the publishing world, you don't realize how
Yeah.
much work it is to do the PR stuff and to do the promo stuff.
Yes.
So even with a
Yes.
publisher behind you, you have to stop your writing momentum for the other things,
Yeah.
you know, and do that. And plus you like doing your podcast and your own things too that aren't,
Exactly.
so it's kind of chaotic then when there's a new book out.
It
Um,
is. It is very chaotic. In fact, if you're expecting an email from, I got your emails. I'm going to get back to you this week, I swear. So I feel like I should just put instead of out of office, I had a book launch. I'll be back in touch.
Actually, and would that be a funny little like, hey,
Yeah.
just so you know, I'm not ignoring you. This is what's happening. Like, hey,
Yeah, I might try
yeah,
that the next one because I always feel bad. It takes me so long to
yeah.
get
And
back to
then you start to
everyone.
get like the second emails from people going, "Are you
Yeah.
okay?" And you're
Yeah,
like,
exactly. You're like, I'm fine, I'm good.
"Are you alive over there in
Yeah,
Colorado?" Yes, yes,
exactly.
yes.
Yes, yes, I'm good.
Well, and especially if you're normally like a quick answer, on email, that can be
Yeah,
problematic. So,
I
but
vary.
I know it
I'll
depends
admit
too.
it. It
And there
depends.
are
Yeah.
days when I'm like, oh, how deep is that email down
Yeah.
like that I meant to
Yeah.
answer? And you kind of
Yeah.
gets lost and you're like, oh, this is bad. Like I should have
Yeah.
answered that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
it's we
I'm
do our
glad I'm not
best.
alone on that. It makes me
No,
feel better. Yeah.
no, we do our best. We all do our
Yeah,
best. So.
we do.
Well, this is exciting. And like you, I haven't caught up with things, so I have not read your newest book, but I'm excited to do it. And this has
Yeah.
been fun. Like we know each other, but we haven't like talked this much, in an interview
Yes.
style setting. So this has been a lot of fun
Yeah.
today. So thank you. Thanks
Oh,
for
it's been a
joining.
lot of fun. Well, thank you for having me. It's been a blast. So thank you.
That's today's conversation on the aside. Thanks for joining me. And if you don't want to miss the next one, be sure to subscribe.